So hello guys, in this lecture we will study shear stress distribution in a cross section. Okay, so how the shear stress is being basically transferred over here, and how to calculate that, and how it varies across the cross section, across the depth of the beam. Okay, so that we will discuss in this lecture. Okay, let's start. So you can see over here that this beam is subjected to this shear force, and in result the shear stress values are means you can see the intensity of the shear stress, and it is acting along the cross section of the member. Okay, so as you can see, I have taken this small element is given over there. So how the shear stress being developed, this is basically the same thing. This is the state of stress element basically. So this is the shear stress is it's in the downward direction because of this shear force, and there is a complementary shear stress will be present over here in longitudinal axis of the member, means in the this is also called as longitudinal shear stress, and this is called as transverse shear stress according to the direction of the shear stress. And also in this means back face, and in this this face beneath this, so in all the phases there will be shear stress will be present, and this is known as complementary stress of the nature of the shear stress. And due to this property it is not going to rotate. Okay, so the rotation is not allowed, and it is nullifying all the rotation capabilities. So you can see over here what you have to do is what we have to derive a relationship between this shear stress and shear force, and the properties of the geometry of this area. Okay, so the so that you can easily calculate for what of what this shear force, how much the shear stress will be, and at which point you can calculate. Okay, so you can see how the shear stress will be distributed across the cross section, where it will be minimum, where it will be maximum. Okay, so let's take one example over here. This is a beam that is being subjected to various kinds of loads, and you can see over here that if we take this small element of dx length, and you can see how this stress distribution is given over here. So what happens basically is the moment will be different, and the forces due to the stress will be different at each phase of this element, and due to this means variation, the value of shear stress will generate. Okay, so if we talk about this cross section over here, and you want to calculate shear stress at which point, at this point, at this line basically. So at any point you can calculate the value of shear stress. So what we are doing is we are calculating shear stress at this line, and that is basically y from this neutral axis. And first of all you have to calculate neutral axis, depth of the neutral axis, and then after that you can calculate the moment of inertia over neutral axis. Then after that you can calculate the shear stress. Okay, so let's see how it is being derived. Okay, and suppose, and what basically this is a dash area. So whatever the shear stress value is there at this particular point is on the line, this line across the cross section, the area which is going to contribute in this shear stress will be this area, means above this line. Okay, so always remember this. Wherever you want to calculate this, if you are calculating shear stress at neutral axis, so either you can take this whole upper area or whole bottom area. Okay, or if you are taking this means at any point, so you can take this area or whole you can take area of this one. So how it will have, basically I will show you the derivation, then you will understand. So this is the 3-dimension figure, and you can see here that how the shear stress will be developing over here. See, this is in 2 dimension, this is in 3 dimension. Okay, so moment, and the moment will be difference over here. So this is m, and this is m plus c. This is a small difference due to the length of this means at this section the moment will be different, and at this section moment will be different. So the moment is varying basically. Okay, so and also the shear force will also vary. So we are if we talk about this cross section over here, so you can see the shear force will be acting on this cross section, and it will be generating shear stress at over here. And what you are doing, we are calculating shear stress value at this particular point, at this particular line basically, okay, at here. So this is basically your bending stress distribution due to moments, okay, bending moments, and this is the bending stress distribution due to m, and this is sigma dash is the bending stress distribution due to m plus dm. So why we are taking up to this only? Because we are calculating up to here only at this point, okay. So from the top to this point you have to take the value of stresses, means the distribution. So this area is a dash, that this area above the line, and what we will do is we will and see over here this tau is also active over here. This is due to the complementary stress, because the stress is coming over here, stress in this direction, in vertical direction, so there will be a horizontal direction stress will be, shear stress will be present over here, okay, due to the complementary nature of the stress. And what we will do is now we will just apply equilibrium equation and equate the forces, okay, total amount of the forces due to these bending stress. So this is compressive stress, this is also compressive stress, and this is shear stress. So shear stress will be applied at this surface, at the bottom surface, okay, at this surface. There you can see over here how the shear stress being applied over here, and this bending stress will be applied on this area, okay. So how you have to calculate forces? Just multiply the area into this stress values, okay. So what we will do is we will take a small dA dash area and we will integrate over it. So just taking one dA, just a small area from this bigger area a dash, so this will be dA dash. So you can see over here I have applied equilibrium equation. Then what is there, or what will the force over here? The force will be dA dash into sigma, okay, and for there the force will be dA dash into sigma dash, that is basically this is basically this, and one force will also be there. This is basically due to shear stress that is acting on this surface. So this is also in a horizontal direction, so we have to take this also. So this is tau into T into dx, okay. So the what is T? T is the thickness of the section, or you can say width of the section at which point you are calculating the shear stress, okay. And dx is the this width of the cross means segment that you have taken dx, okay, length of the segment. So this is how you can just apply equilibrium equation and see the equation over here. So what we'll do now, we will substitute this sigma dash and sigma in terms of bending stress formula, okay. So from flexure formula, m upon I is equal to sigma upon y, we will just put these values and substitute it. You can see over here how I have done it. So for sigma dash, this is creating due to m plus dm, and for sigma this is generating due to m. So for that consecutive terms, we have substituted the following this sigma dash and sigma in terms of bending stress formula, and this will be m plus dm upon I into y into dA dash will be remains same, and this is m upon I into y into dA dash minus this is. So upon this what we will do is we will take common term outside, and what we will get is this is dm upon I, and this is first moment of area basically what we call it as, and this is what we are getting it as like this equation, and this equation is this equation is basically your dmy dx is basically your shear force. Yes, the differentiation of moment equation will give you the equation for shear force. You can try it in any example, okay. So this dmy dx will be v, the shear force, and this y into dA dash, this is called as first moment of area, okay. And what is this basically? This q, it is denoted by q. This is the first moment of area about neutral axis. And what is this basically? See this is the area what we are talking about, and this is the centroid of the area, distance of the centroid of this area to the neutral axis. So q will be a dash into y bar dash, okay. So this is, you can calculate, and And what is T? T is basically the thickness at which point you are calculating the shear stress. Okay, so you have to see you have to calculate that also according to the section. Either it will be constant or it will be means if the built-up section is there, so it will be T will be varying. So we'll take one example for that also, and that's how we can calculate this or derive this formula. So this is called as transfer shear formula, and this is shear stress. You can see over here that tau will be your shear stress, and it will depend upon the shear force, and it will depend upon the Q. Q is your first moment of area. Okay, and I will be your moment of inertia. Okay, and moment of inertia about neutral axis, and T will be your thickness over here. T will be your thickness over here, and this thickness. Okay, at which point you are calculating the stress, shear stress, that thickness will be, you have to calculate at there. And above that line, whatever the area is there, you have to calculate Q from that area only. Okay, so that's it. This is how you can calculate the shear stress. Let's take one example over here. Okay, so this is the example that I have taken from the book. Okay, so this is similarly supported beam subjected to UDL. The cross section is B by D, and you can see the shear force diagram that I have drawn over here. This is WL by 2, WL by 2. So make sure that the shear stress will be maximum where the shear force will be maximum. So we have the shear force will be maximum at the support in this condition. So you have to take value of V should be WL by 2. Okay, so this is your transfer shear formula. So what you have to calculate now? You have to first calculate shear force, maximum amount of shear force where it will be developing. That will be given by either you can calculate it by using equations, or you can calculate it by shear force diagram. And Q, what is I? I is the moment of inertia of the total cross section about neutral axis. So for that, first of all you have to calculate the depth of neutral axis, then after that you can calculate the moment of inertia. Okay, and what is T? T is the thickness of the cross section where you are calculating the shear stress. And Q is the first moment of area. Which area? The area above this line, above where you are calculating. Okay, so what I have done is I have taken this variable term so that we can get an equation, and we will see how this is varying. Okay, so we will develop an equation in terms of y, means this is the position of this line from neutral axis. So this so that we can just put the value of y and calculate the various values of shear stress at different points. Okay, so that's how it is being done. So let's see over here this how you have to calculate. See how I have calculated this Q into A dash into Y. Okay, so Y dash, what is Y dash? Y dash will be the distance from the centroid of the area to the neutral axis. Okay, and Y will be the distance of this line where you are calculating the shear stress from the neutral axis, and Y bar will be your depth of neutral axis. Okay, so this is into B. So this is your basically area. So area will be how much? Y bar minus Y is equal to, will give you the area A dash, and B into B is your thickness basically. So B is your thickness, and now the area I have calculated. What you have to calculate? You have to calculate Y bar. Okay, so this distance will be this distance by 2 plus y. Okay, so this is your distance, y bar minus y. This will give you this distance. Okay, divide by 2 will give you the half of it. So because the centroid of the area will be lying in the half from here. Okay, and plus y. So this y bar, you can, this how you can calculate the y bar. Okay, so if the values are given, this will be easy. You can directly calculate it by the values. Okay, so after calculating this, what we are getting over here is this term. Okay, so Q is depending upon this square of the y. Okay, so this will be parabolic, and what we have T is equal to B, and I know what we know as B d cube by 12. So putting all the values over here, what we are getting 6V upon dV cube sorry, bd cube d square 4 minus y square. So you can see over here all the things are constant over here except y. And how it is varying, how the shear stress will vary with y, it will vary parabolic because the degree of y is 2 degree. Okay, so this is parabolic variation. How to, so what you have to do now is you have to just put the values, at y is equal to 0. What you are going to get, you are going to get what this will be, you are getting at y is equal to 0 means at the neutral axis y will be 0, that means you are here, and y will be maximum means d by 2. What will happen, the tau will be 0. Okay, so, and you can see over here this means the difference between this calculating from this equation and calculating from the average stress. So you can see tau max is basically 3 by 2 of v by a, and v by a was what we used to calculate is tau average, that is average shear stress. Okay, so this means that whatever we were calculating previously, we were assuming that the shear stress was uniform in the cross section, but it is not the case. Okay, so the shear stress will be varying, okay, and like the bending stress. So you have to see where it is, where it will be maximum. So most commonly, in most common scenarios, we have maximum value of shear stress that will be developing at the neutral axis of the member. Okay, neutral axis of the cross section. So at this point means at the center of the cross section, the shear stress will be maximum, but the bending stress will be maximum at the top and at the bottom. Okay, so that you have to see. So according to that, you have to take a state of stress and see how the values are there, and according to that you have to design your assembly or material what you are going to design. So let's take another example. This is example I have also taken from book, and this is a built up section, and how you have to you can calculate means shear stress in this section. So what you have to do is basically you have to calculate, first of all you have to calculate depth of neutral axis by the same formula that I have described, by first moment of area, summation of all the function of first moment of area about either top and or about the bottom. So that's how you can calculate the depth of neutral axis. Once it is being calculated, then after that you can calculate moment of inertia about neutral axis. So remember that I have told you that this is built up section, and all the areas are separate, and the CG of these areas will be lying over here. So when you are going to calculate the total moment of inertia I and A, you have to basically shift the individual moment of inertias for A1, A2 and A3 to neutral axis by using parallel axis theorem. That's what I have done over here. Okay, so that's how you can calculate over here this. And what you can see over here at the section at the top, what will happen when the q means what now what you will do, you will calculate q basically. Okay, so how to calculate q is your first moment of area. Okay, so when you are calculating q at the top, means at the top, okay, means you are calculating shear stress at the top, you want to calculate q at the top. Okay, so at the top what is happening, there is no area above this. Means if you are calculating shear stress at this extreme fiber or extreme top of the this cross section, there is no area above it, so the shear stress will be 0. Okay, so area will be 0, shear stress will be 0. So first of all we will calculate shear stress at B. Okay, so at B we will calculate, and then we will calculate at neutral axis. Okay, so what is happening here over here, that the q value of q will change from B actually B and at here in at neutral axis. Okay, and you can see over here that at B point there are two cases. I have taken two cases over here, that the shear stress means just above B point you have to calculate, because there is an abrupt change in the cross section. So you can see just if you see above this, just above the B point, the thickness of the section is different, means it is 300 mm, and just below the B point the thickness is abruptly changing to just 15 mm. So there will be huge change in shear stress value. So what you have to do is you have to just formulate this transfer shear formula. We know that what is the value of shear force, and we know what is the value of moment of inertia, and we know the value of Q. And what is Q? Basically Q will be the first moment of area, and what the area in this what will the area in this area will be means if you are calculating at this particular point, the area will be A1. Okay, so this area will contribute to your shear stress. Okay, and what will be the y bar over here, sorry, y dash over here? Y dash will be the distance from the CG to the CG of this A1 area. Okay, so that you can calculate the moment about neutral axis. Okay, so q you can calculate over here, and after that, after calculating q, what you have to see is, see at one time, just if you see just above the B, you have to take thickness of the width of the section to be 300, and just below the B you have to take thickness of the section to be 15, so that you can see the abrupt change. And q won't be changing. Q will be similar at this point, B point, because we are calculating shear stress at B point. But what we are seeing over here is that there is an abrupt change in the shear stress at a single point. So you have to just vary the width of the cross section. Okay, and all the things will remain similar. So you can see over here that I have calculated by using 300 mm, it is coming out to 1.13 MPa, and by using 15 mm it is coming out to be 22.6 MPa. So you can see the increase over here. And after that, what we'll do is we'll calculate shear stress and neutral axis. So for calculating that, so what we have to do, we have to take q, we have to consider areas above this line. So above this line, the area will be this A1 and A2, half of the A2. Okay, so this area will be contributing to your shear stress, and this area will contribute to your shear stress. So what is going on here? Basically, what we will do is we will calculate first moment of area for this, because all the things will remain similar, only Q and thickness will change, thickness, width of this cross section will change. Okay, so how we'll calculate it? You have to calculate separately for A1 and A2 separately. So for A1, y1 will be the distance from the CG of A1 to the neutral axis, and for the A2, y2 will be distance of the neutral axis from the CG of this area. Is a small half A2 area. Okay, so this is how you can calculate A1 into 110, and this is A2 by 2 I have given, because this is half. A2 was whole area, so A2 is half into 50. Okay, so this is 100 and this will be 50. So you are getting Q over here, and make sure that you put means correct units. Okay, because this will be important. Okay, so q will be in coming out to be mm cube. Okay, and putting all the values over here, and the width of the cross section will be at here will be how much? 15 mm. So just putting over here, and we are getting the value of shear stress, 25.2 MPa. So this is how you can draw shear stress distribution. So you can see over here the variation will be parabolic, because previously we have seen in this this is parabolic variation, and the variation will be parabolic in the cross section. Okay, and you can see at this point, at this B point, there is a first it is 1.13, and this abruptly change at this particular. Why it is changing? Because due to the change in the cross section width. Okay, over here. So this value is very important, this change, and this change will only help you in design the welding over here. Okay, in the higher classes you will see how to calculate means how to calculate the length of the welding, or if you are making this thing out of wood, so how much nails you are going to use to encounter this shear stress difference. Okay, so this is very important over here. So this shear stress difference you have to calculate. This is very important. Everywhere where the section changes you have to do this, because there we have to see the variation in the shear stress, and the abrupt variations will be very important. And maximum shear stress will be happening at neutral axis. Okay, so at neutral axis this will be this, and from means since is since this cross section is symmetric to this neutral axis, so what will happen, this will be similar to this cross section. This will be a mirror image of this. Okay, and but this will be different in case of means unsymmetric sections. Okay, so you can just go and do examples, see in the book, and okay, so this will be it. So just go through the examples and follow the steps, and then if you follow the steps, then you won't be making any mistakes over here. Okay, so that's it for the transverse shear. Okay, and in the next lecture we will see uh, some concepts about the torque and torsion and twist, how to calculate twist angle and all things, so in the shafts. Okay, so thank you very much.